Ich war kein Fake Football Cast, we're here to light the fire. Spitting facts and stats, you know we never tire. Bringing the heat up, have action, won't retire. Busting through the mic, our voices never expire. We ignite the spirit, never fading out. Light the torch, USC fans rise up high. On this podcast, we aim for the sky. Knowledge and entertainment never lie. Together we stand, let the truth amplify.
All right, gather around. Come on in here, man. Let's get this thing popping. And welcome to another episode of Light the Torch Podcast. I'm your host, B. Jones, and I got my boys with me. To the right, we have none other than Mr. Raul Flores.
Put on. Good morning, guys. I know it's unusual start time for us, but good morning, guys. Come on in.
All right. Getting us out the way early today, man. So, we have Mr. Gunnar Atterbury, quarterback for the Cal Southern Centaurs.
Yes, sir.
So talk about it, guys, man. Tell me how the week went for the Centaurs.
Yeah, we're 4-0 so far. The defense made some adjustments this past game against Michigan State. We got the big game against Illinois coming up on Tuesday, so another road matchup. We'll see if the boys are awake for that game. So
okay. I see Tim and Preston had a bounce back game, right?
he did. I really think the scheme adjustment really helped him, and just overall. So I think we're going to see some better production out of him.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you guys follow at Preston Paradise right here on YouTube and Fight on Preston at X, or you can just click the link that will be in the description. So,
then,
all right.
I was going to say for those that before you start, B. Jones, for those in the chat that are complaining that it's an early start time, hey, remember we're in the big now. We might get some early slotted games at 9 a.m. So get used to getting up early on the weekends.
Right. Well, reason being that we are starting so early is because we're trying to get our praise on. So I have to work tonight, unfortunately. So we have to move from our normal evening time. But in order for us to get to church on time, we decided we will have to do this a little early. So bear with us in our new time. If you're just coming in, or if you're watching the replay, that is why you missed the show. But go ahead and like and subscribe anyway. Like, share, subscribe. Get us out there, man. But, all right. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started. So first quarter, we have DJ Wingfield will be going to court tomorrow. Tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow.
That's correct.
So, guys, you want to give us the latest intel on DJ Wingfield's situation?
Yeah, like you said, hearing is Monday afternoon. The judge has 3 cases with 3 different football players. As of right now, though, that judge has denied the preliminary injunction for the order. So that definitely does not look good. Again, the judge argues that Wingfield played 4 seasons of football in 5 years, even though he's got that COVID year. So it's going to be interesting. The experts out there don't expect us to hear a resolution on Monday. Would be surprised if the judge did announce his verdict on that day, but they would expect within that week that we should hear something on the actual injunction. But as of right now, the fact that he was denied on the preliminary one, on the tentative, so it's just not trending in a great direction.
Which is unfortunate, man. Anybody who actually looks to it says, well, yeah, he should have one more year. You know what I mean? Especially with the Diego Pavia situation. You can't put a new rule in the middle of that and then not grandfather the guys from this year who already submitted waivers in. You know, it's a little ridiculous. So we were more confident a few weeks ago, but, you know, it seems like the closer we get to it, man, confidence is kind of dwindling. And we're getting his approval. What about you, Ro?
Yeah, I mean, it's if they deny his waiver, it'll be unfortunate because it doesn't make sense. Like, how are you going to have other players out there with the same type of resume, college resume, where they have 5 years and they play 4 and whatnot, and they have that COVID year? Like, it doesn't make sense. So that would be my defense to the judge and say, hey, how do you deny us, but then there's other players that are already ruled eligible to play this season, and they still have the same exact resume that I do.
Exactly. Yeah, I just don't understand how you justify that. But so hopefully the judge does the right thing, man, and you know DJ gets to play his last year eligibility as a Trojan. Any other thoughts on DJ's situation?
I mean, it just sucks at the end of the day. I mean, there's just no consistency. You know, you got somebody in Indiana's getting approved for a TRO. You got the Vanderbilt quarterback being able to play. You got, right, like Rails mentioned in the past, 30-year-old dude playing football. You got, you know, guy over here in their 7th year, guy over here in their 6th year. It's just wish there was consistency at the end of the day, regardless if it helps us or not, right? Like, just I would rather see some consistency. So, but.
Yeah, and that's why the NCAA, it's not liked by many individuals, because you know they're not consistent. They continue doing this BS. Like, what are they doing? Like, are you guys here to do something? Try to, you know, make it right, make it fair, and have that consistency throughout the entire league.
Exactly. All right. So I think it's time to move on. We'll go into our fall camp wrap up / scrimmage intel. Guys, you want to go ahead and lead on that one?
Yeah, so we had our scrimmage Friday. Media was allowed to kind of be there. They didn't report on much, but we kind of got some nuggets on, you know, the scrimmage. You know, I'd say, you know, media is a little bit less optimistic about the season. You know, from what we're hearing though, is that there was a lot of changes, right? A lot of young guys coming in, a lot of the older guys not playing much. You know, so for example, you know, we're hearing Makai Lemon and Jacoby Lane didn't really play much in the scrimmage. So I mean, from that standpoint, you would anticipate and expect probably the offense to struggle a little bit more than we think. Defense, they played physical, they played hard. You know, so that's kind of what we expected going into the season, that the defense will carry us. So from my standpoint, not much new news, right? It's kind of the same old, same old. I would say the only new news is that Lemon and Lane didn't play much, and maybe that just because they're a little dinged up. Maybe that was a plan from the coaches, whatever the case may be. I would say that's the big kind of takeaway from my end. What are your thoughts, Raul, on kind of the fall camp and scrimmage?
Yeah, I mean, whatever the media saw and are blowing it out of proportion, I guess. I don't know if that's the right wording, but they're kind of saying that they're less optimistic about the season. I don't understand why, because what was expected to happen on that scrimmage, based on what we're hearing on personnel, that's what should have happened. So in that regard, on my end, nothing changes. The defense, I feel like, it's going to be an elite defense, and a lot of teams are going to get surprised because for some reason they still think that our defense is not a good defense, and that's good. Let them think that. Once they get hit in the mouth, they're not going to know how to respond. So on my eyes, nothing has changed. Defense is going to be elite. For those that are saying that our offense struggled, what do you expect when you don't have your top guys and you're going up against a good defense? Especially if you're playing young guys out there, they're going to make mistakes. So when it comes to that, just kind of keep that in mind in terms of kind of judging, Maeva or the offensive team. If not all their, starters were in there, and that makes a huge difference, as you guys know.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we all know what we have with Lemon and Lane, right? So I think this was a good opportunity for like wide receivers and other position groups to find out their role. And I would anticipate and assume that there was a lot of interchange with the O-line as well, right? We have some battles there, right? We got the center battle going on. We got the left guard. We got the right tackle. We got the right guard. Like we pretty much have four positions going at it in terms of a battle. So you would anticipate some interchange there, right? Like the big thing at the end of the day with O-line is chemistry. So when you're just throwing some guy here and there, probably throw some things off.
Right. And the great part about these battles, man, it's not because of people are just looking bad out there. It's because they're, the people who are perceived behind them are really pushing them. So meaning that we have some real depth on this offensive line, man, in a few different positions. So it's always good to hear if you look at it that way.
And then we have some, and to add to that, there's some flexibility, right? Tobias Raymond, he's being looked at the right tackle, and he's also being put at, what's it, guard?
Left guard.
Yep.
Yeah, right. So it's like they're looking at different lines just to see what works better. We might have a certain game where we have Tobias on the right tackle and someone else at guard, or they switch it depending on how the game is going. But I see that as a positive because we got some flexibility and be able to move players around. So yeah, I mean, my optimism for the season hasn't changed. I still say that we win at least 10 games on my end, bearing any major injuries. So yeah, I don't know why the media says that they're less optimistic. I mean, what do you expect when your top quarterback or your quarterback's missing the quarterback's missing his top two options in the wide receiver group throughout the scrimmage for the most part?
Right. I'm pretty sure Guns mentioned it, but yeah, I mean, the top options were, very limited at best, you could say, based on what we heard. And, we got a lot of young guys, a lot of playing time. So, yeah, and we know Lincoln. We know Lincoln's not going to show the media much, that's just, how Lincoln is with the media. So, not saying it's good or bad, but, that's Lincoln. So, he didn't show much on Saturday, but yeah, it was more. I felt like it was more so of a challenge for Jaden to, get acquainted with his other targets. That he'll get used to this year playing with. So, if you take that into consideration, and you take any quarterback trying to fit balls over Eric Gentry's head while being pressured, and consideration, Jaden's not no different than any other quarterback. That's a challenge. Eric Gentry is 6'6" with a 40+ inch vertical, so it's not going to be very easy trying to fit a ball over his head, especially while being pressured. So that is a good sign for us and our defense. I'm telling you, and we've been telling you here on Light the Torch, our defense is going to lead this team. Our defense is going to be in the top half of college football, top 25 for sure, in my opinion.
No, I agree. And if we had heard the opposite, where say that Maeva was picking apart the defense, then my optimism would be like, oh crap, we might be we might have a problem for the season. But what happened actually?
Yep. Did we lose Roll?
I think we did.
Top defense.
Oh, there he is. He woke up.
I think I cut off there, guys. My Wi-Fi might.
It looked like you fell asleep, man. What you said?
I was saying that if we heard the opposite, where Maeva was picking apart the defense, my optimism would have dwindled down a bit and be like, oh crap, we might be in some trouble here. Our defense is probably not what we think it's going to be. But, the defense did what they were supposed to do, which is make it very difficult for the offense. So, I personally think I know you said top 25. I want to say it's top 10. I'll go as crazy as saying top 3. And who knows, maybe BC actually shapes his head or what's the deal?
We'll see we get BC shape his head. But yeah, man, our defense is going to be lights out and definitely going to lead this team. So if there's any questions as to why the offense may be struggling, we have a good defense. Simple answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, take all that into consideration when you are reading these media outlets and, everything they have to say regarding the scrimmage. So with all that being said, I think we're clear to move on. You guys got any thoughts? Any other thoughts?
I mean, for me, I got to shout out Jaden Ramos. This guy was on USCJ's live, before he got on campus. Guy played in 6A Texas football division. Very underrated player. He's getting some shine this past scrimmage. He was making some plays out there. Would not be surprised if he's, in rotation with Gus as well. So the guy played lights out in high school, so he's got some tools. And obviously, Henny knows what he wants, right? This was a very underrated, kept secret that they wanted to make sure no one knew about, right, during the signing day period. So I'm excited to see what he can do in the future. So he's got some talent there, obviously.
Yeah, man. Shout out to our whole scouting department. We seem to find those guys quite often, man. Those under the radar guys. You could say our whole linebacker room is full of those guys, right? And even guys that we have in the 26 class that are widely underrated, like Tabo and, et cetera, man. Our scouting department does a phenomenal job. And they have since, Lincoln has had a great scouting department since he's arrived. Finding those underrated guys.
And shout out to B. Jones, too. He's been telling you guys, don't look at those stars. It's like those stars are not what they seem to be all the time. So trust the coaching staff, what they're doing, because, they're bringing in the players they want to bring in.
Right. And I'm going to say it again. Trust your eyes. If you don't have football eyes, or you don't have trained eyes like Lincoln Riley suggests you may not have, that's why we do videos here, and our other content creating brothers that you'll find a link in the description below. We all make videos about all of our guys, so check them out, listen to what we have to say about them, and trust us, man. We haven't been wrong as far as that goes, man. So all right, anything else, or we're moving on?
No, that's
yeah, I'm good on my end.
All right. So next topic. We're going to give you guys the reasons why we believe Jaden will succeed. I know we gave you a little bit in our fall camp intel, but we're going to go full deep dive into why we think Jaden will succeed. Why don't you kick it off, Raul? Give us your reasons why you think Jaden is going to succeed this year.
I mean, I would just say he's got the right mindset. Like, he might have he might make a mistake or two, but he doesn't put his head down. He keeps fighting, and he finds a way to persevere and get us that W. He went 3-1 last year in the 4 starts, and we were in position of beat Notre Dame, even with all the adversity that we were facing at that point. Some players were already checked out, and we still made it difficult for the for Notre Dame. And so just that, the one mindset, I think he also hired a coach this offseason. So I think he's going to take a step forward this year, and he's not going to have that adversity he had last year where it wasn't his team, right? This year it'll be his team. So he's going to go into the season with some more confidence. And I'll leave it at that so you guys have more stuff to talk about as well. I can't hear you, B. Jones. I'm not sure if my
Yeah, so I was saying we just let you take the whole segment, man. You're cooking right there.
No, go for it.
Shout out to Anthony James giving us his best USCJ YouTube opening live impression.
Right on, guys. Right on, James. Appreciate you joining, even though you're a Michigan fan, I think.
Well, yeah, man. Guns, what you got, man? Give us your reasons why you think.
Yeah, I mean, why I believe in Jaden Maiava. I mean, number one, at the end of the day, it's the arm talent. I mean, you can't teach the arm talent he's got. He slings the ball. Obviously, you can work on mechanical things, some decision making, mental stuff, which he has worked on. Like Raul said, he got the QB coach. He went to QB3D or some camp in Los Angeles, and worked on footwork, mental stuff, decision making, stuff like that. Just building confidence, and so those two things are why I believe in him. And again, with him having a full off season, being the guy. Again, last season he was basically known just to come on the team, right, and be Miller's backup, and then get thrown into the last 4 games. It's not a tough situation. It's not an easy situation, right? It's a very tough situation. So his confidence with Lemon and Lane, I think, are sky's the limit with those two guys. And again, so very excited to see what we can do with those guys. Obviously, again, turnovers no one likes turnovers, and he knows that. But he understands that, okay, hey, if I make a mistake, let's move on to the next play or next drive. So,
yep, and that right there is what I want to talk about the most, man. He has a short memory, and for a quarterback, you need that. And he's shown that already, man. The guy, the Texas inning, and threw a couple picks, but then came out through 4 touchdowns, right? So he didn't get too down on himself. He didn't sit there and mope and act like the world was over, right? He ponied up, and got on his high horse, and led us to victory. So that is what you need in a quarterback. If you look at Jaden, he's a gamer. In late game situations, he turns it on, right? Which is, I mean, you can argue that that's something that we didn't quite have last year. So that, and you can see Guns also mentioned that he hired a coach. And I don't know if anyone else has noticed, but I have. His mechanics look a lot better. Just watching him throw the deep ball, his touch on his deep ball looks a lot better. He's always had a big arm. He always had great arm talent, but now it looks a little more refined, right, and fine-tuned. 2, outside of his private coach that he hired, he has Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley, guys. If you're going to ask for any quarterback to improve under a coach, who would you pick? I'm pretty sure you in all of college football will pick Lincoln Riley, right? I mean, Nick Saban did, right? He told Jalen Hurts to go see the doctor, man. Go see the wizard. So what more do you want? So he has another year for chemistry, to build chemistry with his receivers, which he's done. If you look at was that the Notre Dame game when he threw those 2 late interceptions, it looked like it was just a chemistry thing. Kyron, wanted the lead pass, Jaden threw a back shoulder. Just simple miscommunication things, right? So that comes with chemistry. When you're thrust in the starting position in the middle of the season and tensions were high, you're coming off an injury. People like to forget that as well. Jaden was coming off a knee injury. Right now, he's fully healthy. We were kind of wondering, like, man, why is this guy not running? Why is he, why did we ever think he could run at some point? So we're like, what's going on here? But yeah, that is the reason why, man. He, he's coming off an injury. But to me, man, his ceiling is way higher than like you could even imagine. Like he has, to me, he reminds me of Darnold, and with the the gunslinger play style, but he may be a little more athletic than Sam, or a little quicker in the pocket as far as the scramble ability. So, you guys got any thoughts on that? Anything I just said?
I was gonna say to add to the 2 picks with Notre Dame, I feel like people tend to forget that one of them was a PI, and then the other one he was kind of forced to throw it, right? Like he had no choice but to throw it to an extent. And a gunslinger is gonna always sling the ball, and the mistakes are gonna happen. But for the most part, if he's able to minimize those INTs, we should be in a good spot to win a good portion of these games, if not all.
That and here's another thing that I feel that Lincoln Riley did. He know that Jaden's a gunslinger. He know he's going to throw it up there, right? And Jordan throws a good amount of 50-50 balls. Well, when you have Jacoby Lane and you have 6'5" Prince Strunken, I think we're going to win most of those 50-50 balls, right? And then you talk about quick game, right? We're going to get Jaden going in quick game. It's not there, boom, dump it off. That's why you go get an Eli Sanders, right? Who you want to get in space to be a jitterbug out there and take off downfield. So I'm telling you, he has all the weapons that he needs around him. And that fit him, in my opinion. You guys got thoughts on that?
I mean, you said it perfectly, honestly. Yeah, I mean, again, if you throw it to Jacoby Lane, he's more than likely going to grab that 50 ball over DB. So yeah, and like you said earlier, with the mechanics, we're going to see some better deep balls because of those mechanics, right? The touch and just everything. So very, very excited to see his this upcoming season for him.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna add this for the fans out there. Don't let the media discourage you saying that, oh, he had a bad scrimmage. Any top quarterback without his top playmakers are going to struggle with an elite defense, and our defense is only going to get him better week by week. So by the time we face Illinois, he's going to have 4 games in, feeling a lot more confident, especially if we go 4-0, which I believe that's going to be the case. And it's only going to get better throughout the season for Maeva. He's going to have more experience. So don't be too worried about Maeva. He should be all right.
Right. Yeah, Chris, we couldn't do nothing about that one, man. Our time differences down the line. So, we're trying to make it to church ourselves. That's why we have an early show today. So, hey, we appreciate your support.
Appreciate it.
All right. So go ahead and put the rest of that in the offering, man. Don't give us all, but we do appreciate it. All right. But yeah, man, back to listen. Another thing is when you have Lincoln Riley as a coach, he's going to tailor his offense around you as a quarterback and play to your strengths. 1. 2, I think we're simply just going to take the ball out of his hands a little bit. Not in a bad way. I'm saying we're going to run the ball more. I mean, this roster is built to run the ball. From an offensive line standpoint, we have a bunch of road graders on our offensive line who excel in run blocking, right? Especially in our interior. And then we have 3 Doak Walker award-less running backs, the only school in college football to have that, right? Yeah. So it makes sense, to run the football for us. We know that Lincoln has not always been the best at sticking to the run, but I think he's going to show us that he can this year. I think he's going to have to. He's going to have to, because that is the rep sheet on Lincoln. That's how you beat Lincoln. Just shut down the limited run game, and then live with all the passes. Make him one dimensional. That's what PJ Fleck would say, right? So yeah, not to harp on that too much because it's just gonna piss me off thinking we lost that game. But yeah, you guys, give me your thoughts on that, man.
Yeah, I do think he's got higher confidence in this RB room than a lot of the past few years, which is potentially saying something, which is a big thing, right? We had Woody Marks, we had Marshawn Lloyd in the past, But I'd say from an overall depth, I mean, like you said, we have three guys in the Walker Award watch list like that. I don't think you see that a lot every year. So we got options there. I think that's great. You know, there's a lot of hype around Wayman Jordan, and rightfully so. So if we can run the ball more, it will obviously help the offense and Jaden, but it's going to help the defense, right? If you can run the ball, you let them get their breath a little bit more, relax, and so they're not on the field as much, right? As much as we know that this defense is elite, they're going to be on the field a lot. There's going to be opportunities for an offense to score or move the ball more than what we think. So, yeah.
Yep. I believe we're going to see a lot better pace this year out of our drives.
Man, the more you guys are talking about it, just the more excited I get for the season, man. I can't wait. Just want the damn season to start already.
You should, man. Yeah, man. I tell you, for you and I, we got to see it, right? So we've been hyped since spring. You know, people are just now starting to report pretty much everything that we said in spring, right? So which, you know, further confirmed what we were saying. But not only that, it's like the anticipation of the season. Me and Raul been jumping in our chairs like, come on, let's go for the past couple months now, you know, but now everybody else is starting to jump around too, man, because, you know, this team is looking good, man. I'm telling you, I just can't wait for not just Trojan fans, but because of all the disrespect, for the rest of college football world to see too, and because there's going to be a lot of shocked people when they realize that, oh shoot, Lincoln Riley has an elite defense. That is something that has never been in his whole career. You know, we said that, you know, we thought last year we would be more elite. So we made this claim last year, but we didn't take into consideration that we'd have some quitters and, you know.
That and we just didn't have the depth too, right?
Exactly. And we just simply didn't have the depth on the interior. But this year, that is not the case. And that is everything that we were missing last year to finish these games. So, you know, and I mean, honestly, even with the lack of depth, if we just had a few guys not get injured, I think the outcome of at least two of those games would change, right? So, and we're looking at a whole different offseason, you know what I mean, as far as media is concerned. So,
yeah, and then just for people that are saying that our defense still bad or whatnot, just look at all the games last year. We had the majority of those games. We had the lead going into that fourth quarter, and that's when you really miss that depth in that fourth quarter because everybody's tired. But, you know, we made a huge improvement from the previous year, so this year is just going to be 10 times better. I'm telling you guys. I'm going to go top 10 defense on my end. But
so as far as that, I definitely want to say top 10 defense, and it very well could be. We're still young as well on that front, on the defense front. So, yeah. Sorry, man. I'm laughing at this comment here. Anthony James and James. Anthony's our resident Michigan fan. So, but yeah, man. Yeah, if you look, killing me. You threw me off with that one, man. Yeah.
No, you're right. We're still young, but you know, I think Coach Henney and the staff are going to have them right.
Absolutely. That's what I said. If we very well could have a top 10 defense. I'm not saying that we're not going to. We very well could, but if we don't, I mean, we still have to take into consideration the youth of our talent as well. Guns?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's definitely a possibility to be a top 10 defense. Again, we're a lot deeper overall. Maybe there's not as much experience in certain areas, but again, to me, if you have talent, that helps either way. So, and again, as the season go on, they'll just continue to gain experience. So, yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything else as far as the topic at hand here? All right. I think it is safe to move on, and we're going to talk about the topic of this whole live. Our early preview on the Crosstown Showdown, our most storied rivals. That is the UCLA Bruins. So, yeah, we know these guys very well. They're in LA. You didn't know. That's good. Shout out to Deshaun Foster, man. He did bounce back this year. I think he was better prepared, man. So, as much crap as we gave him last year, we got to shout him out for actually doing a much better job. Because that was pretty embarrassing for the whole city of Los Angeles and the whole West Coast.
I think that's why his motto was do more. Yeah, do more, Foster. Come on, man.
Yeah, do more preparation, bro. No, he did, man. So, of course, we got to give him crap. So, yeah, man. Bruins. Wasn't very good last year. So, which, we should have blown them out of their house, but we did get the victory. But this year, I think we're really going to put some foots in them. So, last year, their offense struggled, averaging 18.4 points a game, ranking 126th out of 134 teams. Yeah. Defensively, they allowed 25 points a game, ranking 68th. That's not too bad. It's right around where we were, right, last year. But obviously, they got some key transfer portal additions, just like we have. Names to note, maybe Roger Pleasant, their running back. What's his name? I'm sorry. The running back,
Javion Thomas.
Javion Thomas from Cal, who's a pretty solid running back there. Would be two of the most notable guys, and of course their quarterback. Two quarterbacks that they got in, which Nico. Everyone knows Nico, who's formerly committed to us.
No, was he?
What's that?
No, I don't think he was committed to us. Was he?
Yeah, no, he was a heavy lean to us. Not committed.
At one point, okay.
Yeah, he was a heavy lean. My apologies. And Pierce Clarkson. If you don't know who Pierce Clarkson is, that is a legendary quarterback coach from the Los Angeles area. And, yeah, so the quarterback room, I'd say they look pretty good, man. But is it enough? What you guys think, man? What you guys think? You think they made enough transfer additions? You think they got? They did get better. Like I said, on paper, they definitely got better. But do you think it'll be enough, considering what you know about us?
Yeah, from a portal perspective, I have them as the second best Big Ten class. Again, it's probably because Nico is there. It probably inflates them a little bit, but they got some good pieces, right? The Javion Thomas, they got Eugene Brooks, they got some good corners. There were some guys we looked at, like a Scooter Jackson, for example. They brought in our good old friend Cortland Ford at tackle, so they definitely brought in some pieces. 31 to be exact. They did give up or let 35 people leave, so all in all, they kind of -4 in that category. But just from a talent rank per player, they're definitely up there, and that's kind of what I have them ranked again as the second class. Again, it's a lot of change, a lot of transfers on their roster. So, the question obviously is, chemistry and what that's going to look like moving forward. You expect some improvement on the offensive side just because with Nico, the offensive line going back there, it's an overhaul, right? It's a lot of new starters, transfers. We'll see how they can gel. They'll probably lean on the running game, like we've talked about as well. But I think the key piece is the linebackers. They lost a lot of key linebackers from the draft and the portal. So, what's that going to look like from their defensive standpoint? They have a good, solid scheme. I think it's probably very similar to what I would assume Lynn was running. Maybe they made some tweaks and adjustments, I would assume, as well. But they have a good, solid scheme. So, interested to see what they can do this season. They got some tough matchups, non-conference wise. They got Utah and UNLV. Can't sleep on UNLV regardless if the head coaching change and all that. And they got some tough Big Ten games as well. They got Penn State at home, which is nice to see. With the travel that could help them. We'll see. But then they go on the road to Ohio State, and obviously they go to us away as well. So very very tough schedule overall for the UCLA Bruins.
Right. Yeah, man. They go ahead.
I was going to say similar to what Gunn said. There's just a lot of player personnel changes, so it's going to be hard for them to mesh, in my opinion. So they might struggle a bit early on, and their schedule is not going to get any easier. So it might be a tough season for the Bruins this year. They did get a good amount of solid offensive players. The wide receiver group should be solid, in my opinion. And with Nico being there, I think they're going to produce. I think they have one of their players is also waiting on that grant or to see if he gets that 1 year granted on Monday. So if he's able to get that year granted, that wide receiver group's going to get better. He was a 3-star, I want to say, ranked on the portal. So because UCLA is doing good. I got to give them the props. They're recruiting well. I feel like they're getting an underrated class on the 26 class, and then Gunn said that they got the second transfer portal class in the Big Ten. So Foster's doing his thing, but with that being said, I don't think they have nearly enough to keep it competitive with USC. It's a rivalry game, so they're going to give it their all, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep it close this year with us. They have a lot of turnover on the defensive side too. I'm looking at their depth chart or potential depth chart. It seems like a total of 5 transfers are going to be starting. And as you know, it's hard for them to all mesh well and to have that impact right off the bat. So I don't see UCLA keeping it close at all.
Well, you mentioned that it's hard for us hard for any team with that amount of transfers to mesh well right off the bat. But for us, we don't play them right off the bat. Yeah. So by the time we play them, they should have some kind of continuity. But even at that, I like I like our additions and the talent that we have over theirs, over a lot of teams, to be honest. But yeah, man, as far as sorry, another note we should mention, John Vaughns is returning as well at the linebacker room. If you don't know, that is the brother of Tyler Vaughns, man. So that right there, that alone just kind of speaks to this rivalry, right? We've seen it in the past, houses divided, man. If you go back a couple of years to Marshall Jones and Malcolm Jones, with Malcolm being a Bruin and Marshall being right here with us with the Trojans. So, that's how this rivalry goes, man. Houses are divided. School, your favorite teacher might be a UCLA fan. So your boss in some cases.
I had a lot of that.
Clients in some cases. So that's how things work over here in LA, man. So.
And then Cortland Ford, to add to that, Cortland Ford's out there now.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that, man. But that's a good pickup for them, man. Cortland.
He's slotted as the starting left tackle, if this is accurate.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're definitely being more improved. I think they definitely improved. So it's good to see, man. West Coast football is back on the rise, man. And it's coming back home to Los Angeles where it's supposed to be. All right.
Where do you guys think record-wise they end up at this year?
You have to give me a second. I haven't actually seen their full record.
Anthony says he has them going at 4-8 this year, which seems about right. I think they have a tough schedule.
8.
Yeah, maybe 5-7. Their over and under is 5.5. So I just don't think they're gonna hit that over. I mean, again, like they start home with Utah, so that's good in a way, just from a home perspective. But you go to UNLV, you got New Mexico, that's probably a win. You go to Northwestern, you go home Penn State, at Michigan State, home Maryland, at Indiana. You get November 1st off, but then this stretch is pretty crazy. You got Nebraska, Ohio State, Washington, and then USC. Like that stretch at the end of the season is not good. So we'll see how they look like, what the depth is like, if they have some key injuries and stuff like that.
Yep. So that UNLV game is not going to be what everybody thinks it is. UNLV has made some great transfer additions themselves. It's looking like last chance you over there, man. So they definitely got some talent over there. On top of an explosive offense, they definitely revamped their defense as far as talent. With the name you may be familiar with, Justin Flo, Denver Harris is over there. Some other guys that were considered a little troubled, with their in their careers. But you kind of like to see things like that. Everybody deserves a second chance, right? And if you're a coach that you feel like you can really rein these guys in and get them on the right track, shout out to you. Shout out to those coaches, man, for giving these guys second chances, and hopefully they get to mold them and put them in the right track and make these guys realize that, hey, you have the opportunity to change your family's financial situation, man, and get that long-term money in the NFL and play on Sundays. So shout out to the coaches at UNLV for that. Penn State, I think they're just going to be too physical for UCLA in that game. Northwestern should be a victory. New Mexico should be an easy one. Indiana is the one you got to circle. It's at Indiana, right?
Yeah, they have a tough schedule. They have a tough schedule. And going against us, it's not going to be an easy game for them at all. It's going to be I personally think we beat them by like 3 scores. But that's just me being a USC homer probably. But
yeah, I got 2 scores.
But with that being said, UCLA seems like on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to do a lot better this year, especially with Nico. He's going to be a mobile quarterback. He can sling the ball. So our defense needs to be, on their game too. They can't take the foot off the pedal at all. They got to go and go for the kill right away to not make it an interesting game.
Yep. But I would say that most teams we play, man, if we jump out early, it's going to be an uphill climb for them to get back in it, man, because we know how explosive our offense can be and will be.
Well, and Anthony James has a good point too, B. Jones. It's his last statement. His last comment. Oh, that one, the one you have up already, yeah.
Boy, I had that on the screen for 5 minutes.
What happened? I didn't hear you.
I had it on the screen for like 5 minutes now, man.
Man, I have to sleep here, guys.
But yeah, man. So, but yeah, no, I mean, he's right. But I mean, you can also say that for us as well, right?
I can say that for everyone, I guess. Right. Yeah.
So,
they probably don't have the depth though on a lot of positions right now, especially if they lost 35 players. They brought 31, but they might not have those top players, right? So.
Yeah, not in comparison to us and other teams that are, we're not slotted to be in the top half of the conference as usual. But I'm saying other teams that are in the top half of the conference and us, for us. For those who know, I don't think they have the depth equal to. So we'll see how that plays a part in their season.
I'm excited for the storylines though, because there's going to be two poly quarterbacks going up against each other.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure the media will play into that. It's great for the poly community, man. I love it for them, and it's just great for Los Angeles football. Period.
Yeah, and USC priority. I agree. I mean, record predictions are just for the sake of it, but I know week by week changes everything, right? You can have a major injury, it completely changes the landscape of a season for a particular team. So you're right about that, but
I literally said this earlier, man. I said the exact same thing, and then we'll have a whole offense, whole off season would have been completely different, as far as the media standpoint. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, man, I mean, that's what pretty much every season comes down to, man. Who can stay the healthiest, right?
Yeah.
And who can really, so, I mean, last year, we trusted our starting 22. But when we got into some situations where we had to show some depth, we were kind of lacking, So this year, that is not the case. And, we actually, eager to show our depth, to be honest. So there should be some rotations that we see that we didn't see in the past. I love how the freshmen are really making noise this year, man. We have multiple freshmen in every room, every position room, really.
Cornerback, who is it? Alex Ryan?
Yep.
Right. And D-line, we got Jakeem, Ramos now, potentially Cordova as well, right? And both Floyd Boucard. We got 4 there.
Exactly.
And then who else we got making noise?
As far as freshmen?
Yeah.
Tanique Hines, Corey Sims. Romero Eisen is a Blazer himself. So don't forget about, let's see, who else has been mentioned, man? Harry Dalton has been mentioned. So we're deep on that D-line for sure. We also priorities bringing up Carlon, which I agree. He was injured almost all last year, right? Yep. So redshirt freshman nonetheless. So he's going to be making an impact this year. So I'm telling you, man, but this year we have a lot to be excited for, man. I just can't wait for everyone to see it.
Yeah, and now we're just waiting for the season to start. This wraps up the previews, the early preview for our schedule. So we're excited for the season, guys. We got 2 weeks left.
Yep, we're 2 weeks away. So from here out, you'll be getting preview content. We'll be bringing guests on as well, and we'll be giving you guys a preview of how we think the season will go, etc. And I'm telling you, man, we have a lot to look forward to in our near future, man, with these Trojans.
That being said, we're probably gonna cut it short now, or again, Guns is, if you guys were wondering, Guns is having some audio issues.
Yep. So all minds are clear. We're gonna keep that torch burning bright. Fight on.
Fight on, fellas. Happy Sunday.
Yeah, happy Sunday, man. Take your bus to church.